did. You know, I'm not saying it's wrong. So I realized that I will not move people emotionally to give.
Right. No.
I'm going to have people move according to the word of God. What is God saying to you? And I really believe this. If people would call this number and put this victory all over the world on every available voice, every available outlet, God, the Father, he would say, Jesus, go get him.
Yeah.
Because you see, he wants to see us as much as we want to see him. You see what I'm saying? And so what has hindered all these things is, it's because people are not doing in the financial realm, because we live in an economic world, what God's called them to do. You know, he's called us to do that. So I don't have a problem with giving. I don't have a problem with receiving. It doesn't make any difference. Because I just made up my mind, I want Jesus to come. They said, do you own a jet? Yes. You can have it the day after the rapture. It's yours. Because Jessie is going to heaven.
Part of the reason that we offer these tithes and offerings is to also help the Levites. So that's what tithing is all about. It has nothing to do with paying some damn pastor, giving him money so he can pay the $4,000 mortgage on his house and on his Jaguar. It has nothing to do with it. Tithing has to do with food and crops and herds and flocks. That's what tithing is all about.
I am the punishment of God. And if you had not committed great sins, God would not have sent a punishment like me upon you.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. Welcome to another episode of Crushing Christian Views. Today, we want to talk about tithing and offerings. The Christian church has lied to a whole nation of Black and Latino people all these generations about what tithing and offering is. But we're going to learn from the Bible what it is. And we're going to start right in Malachi chapter 3, verse 8. It says, will a man rob God? Yet ye have robbed me. But ye say, wherein have we robbed thee? In tithes and offerings? So Christian pastors, they love to read this verse so that they can get you to give them money. We're going to show you what it means to rob God and what tithes and offerings actually are. And we're going to start in Deuteronomy chapter 14, around verse 22. We're going to have Dee read that for us.
All right, this is Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 22. Thou shalt truly tithe all the increase of thy seed, that the field bringeth forth year by year.
Did you hear that? So, thou shalt truly tithe all the increase of thy seed. And then it says that the field bringeth forth year by year. What do you do with a seed? You plant it in a field. This has nothing to do with money. Read on.
All right, this is Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 23. And thou shalt eat before the Lord thy God.
And thou shalt eat before the Lord thy God. And thou shalt eat before the Lord thy God. Not spend money. Thou shalt eat before the Lord thy God. Go ahead, D.
In the place where he shall choose to place his name there.
And the place that he's choosing to place his name there is Jerusalem. Go ahead.
The tithe of thy corn, of thy wine, and of thy oil, and the firstlings of thy herds and of thy flocks, that thou mayest learn to fear the Lord thy God always.
So in growing herds and flocks and producing corn, wine, and oil, and taking what you've grown to Jerusalem, it proves that you fear the Lord. All right, let's go ahead.
All right, this is Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 24. And if the way be too long for thee.
If the way be too long for thee, meaning Jerusalem is too far from where you live. Go ahead.
So that thou art not able to carry it, or if the place be too far from thee, which the Lord thy God shall choose to set his name there.
Jerusalem.
When the Lord thy God hath blessed thee. This is Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 25. Then shalt thou turn it into money.
Stop right there. The preachers love this part right here. Then shalt thou turn it into money. Go ahead.
and bind up the money in thy hand, and shalt go unto the place which the Lord thy God shall choose.
Which is Jerusalem, verse 26.
All right, verse 26. And thou shalt bestow that money for whatsoever thy soul lusteth after.
For whatsoever thy soul, your soul, not the preacher's soul, for whatever your soul lusteth after. Go ahead.
For oxen, or for sheep, or for wine, or for strong drink.
Or for strong drink. Now, so what Dee just read, in order to travel to Jerusalem with flocks of herds and all this stuff and corn and oil and wine, if you can't carry all this stuff, you're supposed to trade it in for money. And then when you get to Jerusalem, you go back and you get the oxen, the drinks, the corn, the oil, the wine. Go ahead.
Or for whatsoever thy soul desireth, and thou shalt eat there before the Lord thy God, and thou shalt rejoice, thou and thy household.
So you're supposed to travel to Jerusalem with the tithings and offerings, and in order to not rob God, you take those tithings and offerings that you grew and produced, corn, oil, what have you, and you feast on that in Jerusalem with your family before the Lord thy God. Reach verse 26 again, so they can understand.
All right, this is Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 26. And thou shalt bestow that money for whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, for oxen, or for sheep, or for wine, or for strong drink.
Or for strong drink. That's for you Christians who say, oh, I don't drink. That's fine if you don't drink. But God says it's okay to have some strong drink. Go ahead.
Or for whatsoever thy soul desireth. And thou shalt eat there before the Lord thy God, and thou shalt rejoice, thou and thine household.
Verse 27.
All right, this is Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 27. And the Levite that is within thy gates.
And the Levite that is within thy gates.
Thou shalt not forsake him, for he had no part nor inheritance with thee.
So part of the tithing is so that we can take care of the tribe of Levi. That's why it says, and the Levite that is within thy gates, thou shalt not forsake him, for he hath no part nor inheritance with thee. So the tribe of Levi, part of the reason that we offer these tithes and offerings is to also help the Levites. So that's what tithing is all about. It has nothing to do with paying some damn pastor, giving him money so he can pay the $4,000 mortgage on his house and on his Jaguar. It has nothing to do with it. Tithing has to do with food and crops and herds and flocks. That's what tithing is all about. So we're going to move on from that. Okay, we're going to also give you John 3:16. We want to prove to you that for God so loved the world is talking about the world of the Israelites. So D, you ready for that?
Yep. All right, so this is John chapter 3, verse 16. For God so loved the world.
For God so loved the world. The whole world. No, not the whole world. Go ahead, D.
That he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life.
So now we're going to prove to you that the world that God so loved is the world of the Israelites, not everybody else. Go ahead, D.
All right, this is John chapter 17, verse 9. I pray for them. I pray not for the world.
I pray for them. I pray not for the world. So tell me something, Christians. How is it that John 3:16 says, for God so loved the world, but here in John 17 it says, I pray for them, meaning the Israelites. I pray not for the world. Because there's different worlds. Just like you hear rappers say, I'm in the hip hop world. That's a different world from someone who works at Chrysler and says, I'm in the auto world. There are different worlds, brothers and sisters. You all know that. But you damn Christians, you don't know that. Start that again, D.
All right, this is John chapter 17, verse 9. I pray for them. I pray not for the world.
Not for the world.
But for them which thou hast given me. For they are thine.
For they are thine. So God is saying the Israelites are mine. They belong to me. Christ is saying the Israelites belong to me. Let's go to the next one. What's that? Hebrews 1? Okay, we're going to go to Hebrews 1. Brothers and sisters, we're going to keep this going. And we need you to understand. Stop playing these damn games like you don't understand what we're reading. God does not love the whole world. And we're reading from the New Testament. So you have no excuse. Go ahead.
All right. This is Hebrews chapter 1, verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
Hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds.
Uh-oh. You got to read that again, D.
All right.
By him also he made the worlds with an S on it. Go ahead. Plural.
So this is Hebrews chapter 1, verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
Hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds.
He made the worlds with an S. Go ahead, D. I think the next one is John. Or is it 1 John?
Yes, 1 John.
Okay, gotcha. 1 John. Listen closely, Christians, because you're in trouble. Y'all in trouble. Y'all can't deal with this.
All right. This is 1 John chapter 2, verse 15. Love not the world.
Love not the world. Why is it saying love not the world, but John 3:16 says, for God so loved the world? It just says it. So is that a contradiction, you Christians? Is that a contradiction? No, it's not a contradiction. He's talking about a particular world, the world of Israel. Go ahead.
All right. I'll start right over.
Yes, sir.
This is 1 John chapter 2, verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
Love not the world.
Love not the world.
Neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
If anyone love the world, meaning all the other races of people, all the other nations, if anyone love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Stop playing with us. Go ahead, D.
All right. So we're going to Isaiah.
Isaiah? Oh, we about to go in the Old Testament. That's the part of the Bible you Christians hate. You hate the Old Testament. Go ahead, D.
They about to hate this verse. All right, so this is Isaiah chapter 45, verse 17. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end.
What's the world without end? It's the world of Israel, because the Bible promises that we're going to live forever. So there's no end to our world. There is an end to the rest of the world, though. Let's see what we got going on.
It's John. We're going back to John.
Going back to the New Testament, John 18. We're going to John 18. We're going to finish. Now, some of you Christians are going to hear this truth and you're still going to deny it. You know why you're going to deny it? Because you want to stay in sin. That's all. You want to stay in sin. You want to keep sleeping with other people's husbands, other people's wives. You want to keep eating pork. You want to keep shopping on Saturdays. That's why you don't want to accept the truth. Go ahead.
All right. This is John chapter 18, verse 20. Jesus answered him, I spake openly to the world.
I spake openly to the world.
I ever taught in the synagogue and in the temple, whither the Jews always resort, and in secret have I said nothing.
So Jesus says he spoke openly to the world, and then notice Jesus says, in the synagogue where the Jews learn. Read that one more time, D, so they can get it.
All right, this is John chapter 18, verse 20. Jesus answered him, I spake openly to the world. I ever taught in the synagogue and in the temple, whither the Jews always resort, and in secret have I said nothing. So the world that Jesus is speaking to is the world of the Israelites, the Jews, and he spoke in the synagogue to them. He didn't speak to the Romans in the synagogue. He didn't speak to the Greeks in the synagogue. It's time to wake up, brothers and sisters. Listen, all we need is for 1/3 of y'all to wake up. The other 2/3, y'all can go to hell. Y'all can suck on dung horse poop. We don't care. We just need 1/3 of y'all to wake up. The rest of y'all can die. We're good with that. So
With that having been said, we want to try to address a couple questions that one of our brothers and sisters may have asked over the last few weeks. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, this was like 2 months ago.
2 months ago, sorry.
All right, and we apologize.
Yeah.
This is a Latino sister. She's from the tribe of Ephraim. That's her name.
Shout out to the tribe of Ephraim.
So her first question is, she wants to know, can Israelites wear the Star of David?
No. So let me see if I can find that for her real quick, because the Star of David is evil.
It says mugging David.
It says what?
Mugging or mugging David, M-U-G-E-N.
Okay, let me see if I can, because I want to give her a scripture instead of just telling her. Again, shout out to Tribe of Ephraim. We appreciate you, sister, for tuning in and checking us out. Let's see. Let me see. So, this is where I think they got that from. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 22, verse 16. I, Jesus, have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. Talking about the real churches, by the way, not the Christian church. I am the root and the offspring of David and the bright and morning star. That has nothing to do with worshiping a star. Don't do it, sister. I'm going to read another verse. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 41. There is one glory of the sun, and another glory of the moon, and another glory of the stars, for one star differeth from another star in glory. Revelation 2 and 28. And I will give him the morning star. So God made the stars, the sun, and the moon so that we can be in awe of him, not the creation. Like a brother came in to the shop where me and D work, and he's a Mason brother. And when I had a conversation with him, he was talking about Ra and the sun and the moon. The moon and the sun and all these things are not made to worship. God made them so that we can worship God and be in awe of him because of his creation. No, don't wear no stars, don't wear no crosses. All that is garbage, sister.
Does that go into like astrology as well too?
Yeah, it goes into astrology, and astrology is garbage. When someone says, "What's your sign?" That's garbage. It's all garbage. Matter of fact, let me pull that up from Job real quick, and then we'll get back to whatever else D has for it. Let me pull that up in Job. Yeah, it's all garbage. Oops, sorry. Hold up. Let me.
Who made that song? Whispers.
Huh?
The Whispers made that song. Like, I'm Paul and I'm a Cancer.
Oh, who? Was that the Whispers?
Yeah, I think so.
No, y'all, it wasn't the Whispers. It was because it said
Oh, the Floaters.
Floaters. It was the Floaters. That's right. It was.
Shout out to the Floaters.
Shout out to the Floaters. This man know what he's talking about. Okay. Let me see. Oh, okay. Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 2. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen. That would be all the other nations, all the other races. Learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. So this goes into astrology and signs and all that stuff, and you don't want to be dismayed by them. That's what God is saying. So, another question?
Yeah, so her second question was
About jury?
No, it was about, no, that was the first one, was the jury. Sorry, Dave.
Okay.
The second one was, it's spelled T-Z-I-T-S.
Oh, the tizits.
Yeah, tizits. Yeah. She wants to know, could Israelite women wear those?
No, in fact, Sister Ephraim, tribe of Ephraim, what you want to do is wear fringes. This is what you want to wear on your clothes.
Because that actually leads to our second question. She wants to know about fringes on the clothes.
Yeah, you can put fringes on your dresses, or if you want to put, I have a coat with fringes on it. You can put fringes on your coat. Just make sure you put a blue on there, a ribbon of blue on there around your clothes, because anybody can wear fringes, but if you notice, you'll never see people, unless they're Israelites, you'll never see them wearing fringes without the blue ribbon around it. So you want to wear fringes. The tizzits you're talking about, sister, the fake Jewish people, they wear tizzits. They don't wear fringes with a ribbon of blue around them. So
what does the ribbon of blue symbolizes?
Oh, it's just a dress code God put in place because the Lord He knew most people would never do that if they were outside of Israel. Like, you'll never see Arabs or Africans or Asians putting blue specifically on their clothes and then putting fringes on there. That's something that we do.
Okay.
So.
All right, and then her very last two questions. Our first one is the Cash App. We are going to make a Cash App.
We are going to make it. We keep saying that, but we haven't made one yet.
Well, we really are going to make a Cash App.
We're going to make one.
And we will leave it in the description box below when we make it.
Yes.
Her last question is, she wants to know, can you do a video on multiple wives?
Yes, I will do a video on multiple wives. In fact, can you see you want to do that next time?
That's up to you. Okay.
We'll do a video on multiple wives on the next video. I know I made a promise before and I broke the promise about something because it took me so long to get back to your questions. But we'll do a video on multiple wives. But let me say this about multiple wives. Multiple wives, men should not have now. We, as Israelite men, we are in captivity and we have a hard time taking care of one wife. In order to take care of multiple wives, we would have to be free in a free society. When I say free society, I'm not talking about the white man's free society where he's free and we're not. I'm talking about a free society where we'll have all the wealth, all the health, and anything any sister can desire, the husband will have it. And we won't have these things until Christ returns. When Christ returns, we'll be in a free society and men, Israelite men, will be able to afford multiple wives. And y'all sisters ain't gonna have a problem with that because y'all don't have a problem now when a guy got a lot of money and y'all know he's got a girl here, a girl there, a woman there, a woman there. You don't have a problem with that. As long as he's paying your condo and your Mercedes note, you don't care. Well, when Christ comes, you're really not gonna care because we're gonna own acres and acres and acres and acres of land. You're not gonna care that is 15 of y'all married to one man. You're not gonna care. And we're gonna prove it in the next video. Thank you, sister, for those questions.
Yes, thank you, Tribe and Ephraim, and we appreciate you being a subscriber. Keep watching, and we will have a Cash App coming in like the next week or so.
The reason it's taking so long for the Cash App is we ain't trying to take your money.
Yeah, we're not trying to take your money, so we haven't been pressed because all of us have jobs. But we're gonna make the Cash App so that our channel can grow and we can reach more people. That's our only goal. We all have things going on. All the men in this room, we got things going on. We're not trying to take anybody's money. The Cash App will be specifically for growing the channel. Like once we start growing the channel, I'll have a mic in front of me. Those mics are expensive. We'll have a mic in front. We'll have a different lighting. It'll just be different stuff. But our only goal is to wake our people up so we can come out of oppression. Oh, okay. So thank you for tuning in. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And we hope to see you next time, God willing. Shalom, brothers and sisters.
I am the punishment of God. And if you had not committed great sins, God would not have sent a punishment like me upon you.